Well, it is the kind of plan we all need, but not everybody has, because I just don't want to talk about it. It's unpleasant to even think about it, so let's just ignore it.
Pretend like it's never going to happen.
Right.
Consumer reporter Steve Noviello is here to talk about the difficult topic of estate planning. We'll let you take it from here,
Yeah,
Steve.
good morning to you both. You know what? It actually is going to happen, and believe it or not, a good plan could save you a ton of money and ease family tension. My guest this morning is Dallas attorney Rebecca Covell, estate planner, probate and business attorney.
Thanks.
We appreciate you being here. This is not the kind of thing we like to talk about. We're all going to get there.
That we are, like death and taxes, it's inevitable.
So what do you do? And what's the first step here to say, okay, I've got to get started? What's the bare minimum I should have?
The bare minimum you should have is a phone. Pick up the phone, call somebody, or look on the internet and find an attorney that you want to work with. Most attorneys will meet with you at least once, no charge, no obligation, and talk about exactly what your particular intentions and needs are, because everybody's a little different. But you know, wills are like parachutes. You only need them once, but you sure want them to work. So you need to spend a few minutes putting one together.
So you talked about kind of that initial consultation, and I think a lot of people think, I'll just do it on the internet, I'll save some money. You know, I love to save money, but this is maybe not the kind of thing you want to cut corners on.
I think that's exactly right. Like I mentioned, you can sure do a DIY will, but that oftentimes is like rolling money up and smoking it, because that doesn't mean you have the right legal protection. And what you can leave behind is chaos and turmoil and a lot of hurt feelings because you didn't do it right. So if you want it to work, go ahead and meet with a lawyer who knows what they're doing in this area and get a good plan. And oftentimes it's more than just having a will. You got to think about doing a power of attorney as well. If you have children, declaration of guardian for minor children. Make these decisions so the state of Texas doesn't make them for you.
You know, and it's interesting, a lot of people say, well, I'm overwhelmed by this. I'm thinking it's going to cost me so much money. I mean, not so much, right?
No, not so much. It's kind of like how much is a car? I ask people that often when I sit down and meet with them. They say, well, what's this going to cost me? And I ask them, how much is their last car? It depends on what features you need, what features you want on it. So it's often a good idea to sit down, talk about your needs, and then what you can do is, what I do in my practice is say, all right, I'll quote you a flat fee now that I know exactly what you want. And they're usually pleasantly surprised.
I want to talk real quick about marriage equality, because as those laws change, how does this whole scenario change for folks that are in perhaps a non-traditional relationship?
That's a great question. This is certainly the hot button social issue these days. Everybody's eyes are on the Supreme Court, whose decision is due the end of June. And right now, non-traditional couples who have gotten married find that they're married in 37 states and single in Texas.
Right.
So if they don't do the proper planning and have an attorney who understands non-traditional couples and their needs, they could find themselves way out in the field when the time comes. Family on one side, inheriting things, and partner not.
I think that a lot of people think, okay, well, once this decision comes in June, all of a sudden, whatever I have somewhere else will be ironclad everywhere. That's not necessarily the case.
No, having a marriage license doesn't really do much for estate planning. It does put you under Texas law, which, as you know, is very wrinkly. And so it's a good idea to sit down with an attorney and make sure that your needs, your partner, your family are covered.
All right, at the very minimum, pick up the phone and make that call. Rebecca Covell, my thanks for helping us start the conversation today. We do have a link right now to Rebecca's website. It is on our website, fox4news.com.
Thanks, Steve.